Hello, I'm here on Church Street, McDonald's End, on this very busy Sunday afternoon. Like I've said before, Joe Owens receiving a good vote in the constituency of Wavertree, where I'll be challenging Paula Barker. She's the sitting MP. She's a cultural changer. Joe Owens receiving a good vote will force these politicians to sit up and address the worries and concerns of the good people of this city regarding the cultural transformation our glorious city is undergoing. You see, should Joe Owens not receive a good vote, then they will continue to allow unlimited numbers of new arrivals to be dispersed in our glorious city, bringing with it all the cultural change that long term poses a threat to our unique Scouse character, traditions and cultural identity. We have watched this change transform major towns and cities: London, Leicester, Birmingham, large parts of Oldham, Burnley, Blackburn, Bury, Bolton, many more, too many to mention in fact. So it's not something that Joe Owens is making up, it is real and present. So Joe Owens receiving a good vote is crucial, so the good people of Wavertree and beyond, their voices are heard. Otherwise, like I've said, if Joe Owens doesn't receive a good vote, they will allow our city to be culturally changed. They will believe there's no opposition and they can now do as they wish, and they can ignore the worries and concerns of the good people of this city, because they'll believe there's no support for Joe Owens, there's no support for what he says, there's no substance to anything he says. So we can now continue allowing unlimited amounts of new arrivals to culturally transform our glorious city. We cannot allow that to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We must oppose it. The Scouse legacy rightfully belongs to our children and grandchildren. It doesn't belong to the new arrivals, their children or grandchildren. Sorry for being selfish, but that's the way it is. Reverse the roles, I'm sure the new arrivals will be thinking exactly the same. So it's important Joe Owens receives a good vote in the forthcoming general election, where I'll be standing in the constituency of Wavertree, where I'm challenging Paula Barker. She's the sitting MP. She's a cultural changer. So it's very important. So the good people of Wavertree, I appeal to you now to think long and hard as to what Joe Owens is saying here. This is not prejudice, it's not racism, it's not hate, it's not far right. It's the awful truth, I'm afraid. The awful truth is our unique Scouse character and traditions, cultural identity are under threat from cultural change. And once cultural change, as I've said, changes our unique Scouse ways, beliefs, values, standards, there is no changing it back. Once the new arrivals are in the driving seat, then everything dances to their tune. That's how it works. That's the real world. If you don't believe me, go and have a walk in and around Gloddick in Oldham as just one example. That is just one example. I could give you many. But Gloddick is a prime example of what happens when cultural change replaces a host culture, community. You see what happens. The new arrivals are in the driving seat and everything dances to their tune. Now, don't blame me for that. That's just how things work. That's how they operate. That's the real world. There is no diversity in these places. The new arrivals are in the driving seat. There is only their culture and their ways, beliefs, values, standards. There is no diversity. That's a myth, Dan Carden, right? You need to go and have a walk in and around Bethnal Green, Whitechapel, other parts of the East End of London. There is no diversity there. There is just a dominating culture that has replaced the once unique Cockney culture. Like I've said before, no more Cockney sparrows fly over London, and we all know why. So it's crucial, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Owens receives a good vote. A good vote is a mandate that the people, their worries and concerns need addressing. Otherwise, they will continue allowing the cultural transformation of our glorious city. We can't allow such a scenario. Our children and grandchildren and all those wonderful Scousers not yet born will curse us. We don't have a right to throw away their legacy, right? It belongs to them, not the new arrivals, their children, grandchildren. It belongs to ours. And like I've said before, does anyone really believe the new arrivals in Kensington and Fairfield, Top of Smithdown Road, Breck Road, or wherever they are now, are sitting there saying, lovely people, these Scousers, we're going to have to repay them. The hospitality out of them, the opportunity they've given us, a future. Do you really believe they're sitting there saying that? You'd have to be extremely naive to believe that. You'd have to be extremely naive. In most cases, the new arrivals are just laughing at us, especially the culture that doesn't want to assimilate, it wants to dominate. They most certainly will be laughing at us. There is no ifs or buts about that. Like I've said, if you don't believe me, go and have a walk in and around Glodwick in Oldham, and you will see the cultural change there and what has happened to that once. The town, right, it's getting really busy now. Go and have a walk in and around there and you will see what has happened. We can't allow this to happen to our glorious city. We must oppose further cultural change. The cultural change you see in this video is real and present. It's not Joe Owens making this up. And within 10 years, I believe, if this is not stopped, our city will have dramatically changed. In another 20 years, it'll probably be unrecognisable. We cannot allow that to happen. This is our city. It belongs towards our children and grandchildren and all those wonderful Scousers not yet born. It belongs to them, no one else. I wish I didn't have to come down here and make these videos. I wish I didn't have to stand in the general election. All the time, effort and money that is going to burden me with, right? I just wish I didn't have to do this, but if I don't do it, no one else will, and if no one else will, cultural change will sweep across our city, changing our unique Scouse character, traditions and cultural identity forever. Once it's changed, you can't change it back, right? Bethnal Green, Whitechapel, the Borough of Newham, Wrench, many other places. Those areas can never be changed back. They have lost their unique Cockney London character. It is gone. It is gone forever. It can never be put back. Like I've said, the same will, not may, possibly could, the same will happen here to our city. if we take our eye off the ball. Joe Owens needs to get a good vote in the forthcoming general election. So I would be honoured the good people of Wavertree would give Joe Owens their vote. We must make a stand, otherwise we will indeed lose our glorious city. And remember, no to cultural change, yes to Scouse pride. Shout it out loud, Scouse and proud. Okay, thank you.